And we're back. Well, the Vac's back. I'm Val and Nate. What's been happening?
Well, episode 69 popped off as predicted.
Just like you thought it would, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that? Is it what you think it was? Is it the 69 element? Really?
Yeah. Well, there's sexual deviants out there.
Right. So shouldn't we just label every episode 69? Can't we just do this as episode 69?
This could be episode 69B.
Point 1. Yeah.
Yes. We could start some kind of numbering system, and maybe we can consider our first episode as 69.
Absolutely. So if you haven't heard episode 69, well, I'd say check it out, but don't.
We've had about 100 views, which by our standards for an episode is rather high.
Yes.
Which is pretty sad.
Yes, but I think topics-wise, we covered a lot of important stuff.
Oh, I'm sure we did. We always cover important topics.
I think people got excited.
Well, I did have a quick look to see how episode 1 was doing.
Oh, yeah.
That's had, it hasn't really progressed. That's on 83 views. I thought over time you would get people with too much time on their hands.
Right, go back to episode 1.
Go back, because I do that.
Well, do you?
Yeah, sometimes if I see something, I just go, what's going on with this?
Right.
And I go back to the origins.
Right.
To see how far it's come.
Do you think it has?
I think they'll be pretty upset because it will look exactly the same.
It will look exactly the same. That's true. We are due for a visual update. We might save that for episode 100.
We were talking about, I didn't listen, I can't remember what exactly we talked about in the episode, but it's called Neuralink.
Yep.
Banana smoothies.
Yep.
And robots.
I can pretty much give you the rundown of at least 2 of those because they were both relating to the same thing. So I actually remember that conversation. Yep.
Wow, well done.
Do you know what the banana smoothies were?
It was training monkeys to play COD using banana smoothies.
Yeah, I think that's where it ended up. But I think where it began was Neuralink chucked in a monkey, and the monkey was interfacing with a computer to play a Pong-like game.
Oh, yeah.
And if he got a point, banana smoothie time. And if he didn't get a point, no banana smoothie.
Oh, because he didn't know whether he was winning or losing unless you provided him with some kind of dopamine
banana smoothie
reason to play. Yes.
Yeah, but I think if you were to play a win sound when he has his banana smoothie celebration and play a barbarrel sound when the game ends and there's no banana smoothie, I think eventually you could get rid of the banana smoothie altogether because he will then be rewarded by the sound. Oh, that's the win. Happy with that. Kind of like how you train a dog to sit with treats. And then all of a sudden there's just no more treats anymore, but the dog's still doing the sit move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So with the banana monkey man, they actually did something pretty cool, which would have got brought up in our conversation, but they actually unplugged the controller at one point. And so he wasn't plugged in. He was just interfaced with the computer with his brain and the chip.
Mm.
And the feeling of moving his hand left and right was enough for the game to pick it up, and he was playing the game with his brain.
Unbelievable.
And that was over a year ago. So
it was reading the electrical
so
signals getting produced by his brain.
I did see quite a sad headline that I didn't seek clarification on, that a lot of those monkeys are now deceased.
That doesn't surprise me. Oh, wait. That was only a year ago.
Right.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
What happened? What do you mean most of those monkeys are deceased?
I don't know. I don't know. All I saw was this is what I mean. I didn't look at it.
Do you know what's funny is I'm drinking a banana smoothie right now.
Are you really?
Well, it's got spinach in it, but it's also got a banana in it.
Ugh. That's like
you don't notice the spinach though.
So what's the point of it? It's just for the good benefits.
The good benefits.
So because I always hate that when you can't taste it. Do you know what I'm saying? Someone said to me, "Oh my God, try the fish. It doesn't taste fishy at all." And I thought, well, why don't I just have whatever it tastes like then instead? What does it taste like? Chicken? I'll have some chicken. What does it taste like? If it doesn't taste what it's meant to taste like.
No, but people like a delicate fish.
A delicate fish.
Some people enjoy a delicate fish, a subtle fish.
A subtle
because
fish.
things can be too fishy.
Right. Correct.
Just like something might be too beefy, I think. Maybe actually that doesn't really make sense. Everyone likes strong beef. A strong beef flavor. But no, you can have something when something's too fishy, like anchovy, maybe some types of very oily fish are just they're too much.
Yeah, but if you don't like anchovies, for example, you don't say, give me the anchovies that don't taste very anchovy. You just say, no anchovies. I don't want any. Do you like anchovies? You do like them, don't you?
Think of I do like anchovies, but what about a cordial? You know, some people like
strong
a weak cordial,
weak cordial.
Yeah. Some people might say, I just like a delicate, subtle cordial.
Right.
A weak cordial.
I think there's only really two types of cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's reg and I guess there's the you can overdo it. We all know that. Easy fix. Just, I don't know, pour a bit out, put more water in. Easy. Too weak? Ugh.
Oh, no, I like it too weak. I'm that
What are you talking
guy.
about? You like it normal for you, which is not too weak. It's regular, normal.
Yeah,
happy. Because there's a weak version of your weak is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there is. But most times people make me a cordial. I'd rather it was a little bit weaker.
Really? You think they're going a bit strong?
Yeah.
But do you think they're putting the regular amount of cordial in?
I don't even know what's regular anymore because they keep increasing the strength of the cordial.
Do they? You have to do less concentrate now.
Now you just buy 1 litre and it makes the same amount as a 2 litre I used to. And they just keep making it more and more concentrated.
Oh, hang on a sec. Are you making a big bottle of cordial? Is that what you're doing?
No, I don't.
You're doing the individual measurements per cordial?
Per glass, but I go purely on colour. I can tell by how intense the colour is.
Right, as to how strong it's going to be.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what brand of cordial, what flavour of cordial. I have this innate ability to tell how much sugar is in the water just by looking at it.
Yeah, you've gained a unique ability. Not many people have got that one.
Yeah, so actually, when I say any flavour, it probably only applies to cooler flavour.
Right. Well, that's a range. Oh, is that just called cooler? Is it?
I think it is, and there's no other product. Like right now, I'm drinking a green smoothie because of the spinach. I wouldn't call this a cooler coloured smoothie.
No,
or a cooler smoothie.
No. Wow, strange that you're having a banana smoothie, and that was one of the only topics of discussion from the first week. So
yeah, no, it is weird. But okay, so we're on to episode 70.
70. Unlucky.
It's our platinum jubilee.
Is that right?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, QE2's platinum jubilee was February 2022.
Yep.
Apparently, it marked 70 years of service to the UK.
Yep.
And for that, she got a bunch of celebrations, right?
You'd have to. You got to celebrate.
I'm pretty sure they got a 4-day holiday.
Jubilation.
Yeah, they were dancing in the streets.
And jubilee, just so we're getting that right, what does that mean? Does that mean milestone?
I think it does. Isn't it just like a party or something? What is a jubilee? I thought jubilee is a celebration. I think
there must be a celebration because there's jubilation.
Jubilation. It's a platinum jubilation celebration.
Okay, a jubilee is a particular anniversary of an event, usually denoting the 25th, 40th, 60th, and 70th anniversary. Right.
And after that, I think no one gets beyond 70 because, she died in the same year as her platinum jubilee. So I don't know if that's a bad omen that we've made it to 70.
It's the last one they bother denoting. So silver jubilee 25th
should be there. Yeah.
Ruby 40th. The golden jubilee is the 50th. Diamond jubilee for either 60th or 75th. So for some reason it goes 25, 40, 50, 25 just out of nowhere. 25, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, 75. Or you skip the 60 and you just have the 75 after. Make that the diamond at the top. So maybe there's one more to get potentially.
Yeah, okay.
The 75, that elusive extra 5 years for the double diamond platinum straight, global seller.
We'll have to make up our own type of jubilee for the 100 because if no one's actually celebrating it, we can make it like a titanium alloy jubilee
Right.
encrusted with
Wow.
various stones. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, they've already the stones are already there. You got the rubies, you got the diamonds, you got the sapphires.
We'll have to think about it because she got a royal gun salute, a flyby,
Right.
pageantry
Right.
like you wouldn't believe. We're talking hundreds of horses.
But if this is our 70th platinum jubilee right now, is this the level of celebration we can expect for the 100?
Yeah, because we were going to have a big 50th, and that didn't really. We didn't really. Oh no,
That
we were
wasn't
going to
a
have
big
a
one?
1 year. I think was it the 52? We were going to have a big one. So we don't even know which one was the big one.
No. The 52 got brought up because we were like, "What's the number 52 mean?" We found out it's weeks in the year. That means we've been doing 52 weeks of episodes.
Yeah,
Which we thought was close enough to a year. It was close enough. Celebrate.
But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked because you said the number 52. Well, I said it, but then you brought. Did I go into the scale of a deck of cards?
Yes.
Did we talk about this? We talk about everything, right?
Yeah. Well, you're talking about that wacky thing that people say about cards, which is every shuffle of cards is unique, almost to every other shuffled deck of cards.
Okay, it's natural to be skeptical if I tell you.
I'm so skeptical.
Okay, be skeptical. It's natural.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, be skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical. You're skeptical. We can do the math.
Yeah.
But after properly shuffling a deck of cards,
Right.
I am telling you,
Right.
with absolute certainty,
Yes.
that sequence of cards
Yes.
has never existed before in the history of time.
Yeah. Okay. So
In
isn't
human
it
history.
a matter of time? Even if it's in the magnitudes of billions and billions of hands shuffled or trillions.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Right.
But I can tell you with absolute certainty, this is how unlikely it is, that I can tell you with absolute certainty that it has never happened before. That combination of cards has never happened before.
Yeah, see, it doesn't make any sense.
Because the combination of cards is called 52 factorial. And what it is the first card can be 1 of 52.
Yep.
The second
so what do I have
card
to
can
type
be
into the calculator? I have to type in
so I
52
can tell
times
you,
52,
51,
52 times?
No, 52 times
Yeah.
51 times 50 times 49 times 48. Now, so so when you play lotto, and there's maybe like I don't know 45 numbers, and you have to get 7 of them or something like that, right? Let's just say that's so the chance of winning lotto, that's you'd say that's unlikely, but could happen, right?
Correct.
The chance of winning, that's 45 times 45 times, it's like 45 times 44 times 43 times 42 times 41 times 40. That's the chance of winning lotto. Now, times it by 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, and then go back from 40, 49, 39, 38, 37. This is what one deck of cards is. So if you think the chance of winning lotto are slim, I'm telling you that they are fucking excellent odds, fantastic odds. You take that every day of the week.
Yep. Then
saying that the next deck, like a deck that you've ever shuffled, has existed in human history.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You'd have to get a real good guesstimate on how many hands you think have been shuffled in history. And even if that number came out a stupid amount, which it would, we've got a problem, because I started doing this on the calculator already just while you were talking. 52 times 51 times, I got up to 46. That's where I'm up to. I'm still timesing, right? But it's already an astronomical number. It's like 674 billion already. So does that mean 1 in 674 billion?
I can tell you that 52 factorial is 8 times 10 to the power of 67.
Okay. And
now, this is, we start dealing, you complain that sometimes I bring out these numbers. Or
space numbers.
Space numbers. This is bigger than a space number. But, when an asteroid, like, for example, the capsule, the OSIRIS-REx capsule came in at 45,000 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
And you were like, that's a space number. 8 times 10 to the power of 67 is obviously 8 with 67 zeros on the end, is basically infinity as far as we're concerned. Like, that number doesn't even fit into our world. So I'm going to try and explain to you how to conceptualize how big that number is.
Great.
So if you hide a grain of sand anywhere on all the beaches of the world,
I hide a grain of sand anywhere in the world. Yep.
you hide a grain of sand.
Yeah.
The chances of me picking it up and it being that grain of sand is 5 times 10 to the power of 21. So 5
That's
with
nothing.
21 zeros.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So I could spend my whole life looking for that grain of sand, right? I'm not picking up one. I could just be scooping it up.
Dude, I could even tell you what beach it's on. You wouldn't find it.
I still wouldn't find it. Okay. Now think about this. There are more atoms of carbon. Wait. There are more atoms of carbon in a gram. I'm just reading about what I've got here about my 52 factorial than grams of sand in all the world. Wait.
This is still spacey, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Because what this guy, there was this YouTube video. I'll put the link up in the comments. But he said if you could label a proton or a neutron and they could hide that proton or neutron anywhere in Earth, and I had to select an atom, and from that atom I select one of its nuclear components, and the odds of that atom or neutron, that proton or neutron, should I say, being the one that you selected. And remember, there is heaps of protons and neutrons. There's hundreds inside every atom, and inside every atom inside every like grain of sand there'd be like billions of atoms, right? The odds of me picking out your proton or neutron from the whole Earth is 3.5 times 10 to the power of 51. Right? So that's far better odds than the deck of cards.
You're missing like 30 more zeros.
Yeah, you're missing 18 more zeros on the end. So odds
when you
of
pick up a deck of cards, you should respect it.
Exactly. I had this whole new appreciation for a deck of cards after this. Like, it was blowing my mind for quite a while.
Mm.
Like the fact that you selecting a proton or a neutron on Earth and labeling it and me trying to find it is far more likely than the deck of cards in a predetermined order. I thought it was unbelievable because the chances of that.
But have you ever seen Penn and Teller talk about this kind of stuff? Because they do card tricks, right? They can do the whole, please take your card out of the deck and I'm going to shuffle it now. I'm going to shuffle the deck, right? And I'm going to get my friend to shuffle the deck and I'm going to get them to cut it. And boom, it's back in order again. They've done it. And what they've obviously done there is a magic trick, which, they've completely, done some fuckery there. That's not what we're talking about with a proper shuffle, right? But every magician starts a card trick the same way. He goes, this is how you shuffle a deck of cards, right? You split them into two. He does a casino shuffle, right? Which is the splitting in half, the push them together, does that again. And you got to do this. The Penn was saying, oh yeah, you got to do that 5 or 6 times for it to be considered a shuffle. All I'm saying is if you started with that order, the regular order, and you did that standard casino shuffle, if you're like clinical with your shuffling, surely it could be the same deck again, right?
Just do the math.
Well, no. Well, the thing that's different here is this person is not doing like a proper shuffle. They're doing a
So
there's a magic shuffle.
There's a rigging the deck in essence.
Yeah. So they're not doing what's required for this test. They're not shuffling the deck properly, right? You've seen the other shuffling. The way that people do it is they just put all the cards down on the table and they swish them around independently.
Yeah, swish, and
then bring them together.
Swashos, yes.
I like that, right?
Yeah.
But the standard shuffle, right, works on an already used deck. But on a brand new deck, surely you could get the similar outcomes. But the maths is good. The maths is good. The maths makes sense.
The maths, yeah, it's nutty, isn't it? It's really cool. It scares me though.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a few things to talk about. Actually, we didn't actually get down to serious business.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the marathon world record got shattered yesterday.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no potential. screwery going on? Like, is there
there
some
is.
magic
Whenever
shoes, or
someone,
what do we got? Like,
I didn't ask what shoes he's wearing, but look, they're going to be street legal. That's for sure. That's one
Okay.
thing you do know.
Yes.
So the guy's name is, so he beat Kipchoge. Kipchoge we talked about for a while. He's the first man in non-event to go under 2 hours, but that doesn't count towards the world record. The world record has to be done in a event scenario.
That's right. He did it with the car in tow and the boys.
He had runners. He had sets of runners in front of him, and they paced him perfectly. So we know it's humanly possible to go under 2 hours.
Right.
He had the previous world record of, I think it was 2 hours, 1 minute and 9 seconds or something like that.
So he managed to shave off a minute in a non-competitive setting. Kipchoge.
Yes, he did. He did. Yes, over a minute, about a minute and a half.
Great. And okay, and now what's happened?
Kipchoge's record has been beaten by 34 seconds.
Right. So we're still over 2, are we?
Still over 2. It's 2 hours and 35 seconds. But I can confidently say right now, in our lifetime, one of those ones, someone's going sub 2 hours, and I think it's going to be soon.
Wow. And why makes you say that?
Well, the fact that this guy, I don't want to call him a new kid on the block because I don't follow who the current marathon runners are. All I know is Kipchoge's been the fucking man for
top dog for a long time.
For the last couple of years. Another fellow by the name of Kelvin Kiptum. Guess where he's from?
Kelvin.
Yep. Well, he's from Kenya. And
okay.
Marathon winners are only from Kenya and Ethiopia these days.
Yeah, they had a big boom of marathon runners.
They certainly did, and genetically they're well suited for it. This Kelvin fellow, so he's gone first man in the world to go under 2 hours and 1 minute in an actual event.
Yep.
It was at the Chicago Marathon. He did 2 hours and 35 seconds.
Fantastic. And what does the trend look like for world records in this area? Because did Kipchoge break the record in the last couple of years?
Yeah, he did.
The previous record?
Just go to general. I'll send you a link.
Okay, great.
It's got a picture of Kipchoge on that. Yeah, and so you can see where we've come from and where we're heading.
Right, yes. I wanted to see this trajectory. Right, so 100 years ago.
Marathon world record projection.
Yeah, 110 years ago, the record was 2 hours and 55 minutes. So in 110 years, it's gone down by an hour.
A lot, right?
That is a lot. But people were breaking the record 5 times that year. You know what I mean? Like, beat that. So let's start in 1909. That's 2 hours 40. That record stood for 4 years.
Oh, look, well, 1909, that time. I mean, it was dominated by, the world record was Mariner. It was embarrassing, really. It was dominated by white guys.
Sure.
That's how you know something's wrong.
Well, it was probably just the inherent racism at the time that prevented them from probably competing.
Yeah, because they're all in the US as well. And I think that's where you had to get officially recognized times and events and things like that. So they just... You have to go to wealthy nations to get recognition.
I scrolled down the list. There seems to be an Australian in amongst this record holder list.
I think there's a couple of Australians, actually.
Is that right? I only see one. It's the same bloke. He did it twice.
Oh, there's Derek Clayton and Robert De Castella.
Ah, yes, you're right.
And that was recent, 1981.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and you can see at the end there in the last...
Yes.
20
the record
years.
is being broken every few years, usually. And
it's the East African era. If you're not from Kenya or Ethiopia, you're not getting a gig as a marathon world record holder.
Right.
But
all these records are being set at the Berlin Marathon.
I know, and this was done at the Chicago, which is huge.
Right, and the last time the record got broken at the Chicago Marathon was 1999 when someone went 2 hours and 5 minutes. So that's pretty much on par with what we're dealing with today. He's sub 5 minutes from that. Okay, Chicago Marathon. Okay.
So I'm excited. I'm really excited because you got someone else coming along that has now smashed Kipchoge. I don't know if he's in any I don't know where he's at in his career. He's been around for quite some time now.
He's 23 years old.
Oh, and see, well, your peak marathon running is not till your mid-30s as well.
Sort of like fighting age. Probably said that last time you said that. Yep, got it. Wow.
This is a big call, but I want to put an open invitation out there to the first person that goes sub 2 hours in a event can come on the show.
Wow. They can come on.
They can come on.
Great. And you expect this to happen pretty soon? Are you talking in, like, you said within your lifetime before, but looking at the way the records get broken, shouldn't you be more aggressive with that?
Maybe, but they normally only shave fractions of a second off. So, I mean, we're talking
how do we get another minute off is what you're sort of wondering, right?
Yeah, but it's only 35 seconds now. Like, I can taste it, you know? Because it wasn't long ago when Kipchoge did it in 2018 there. So he went sub 202, and I was very excited because the last person was only just sub 203, whereas he went well into the 201. He went 201 and a half. Scary,
isn't it?
And I was like, man, that's huge. That is a huge chunk off. And then he took another 30 seconds off his own time 4 years later. And then this guy's come along and took another 34 off.
Why is the Berlin Marathon so popular for breaking records? Is it conditions? Is it the track?
It's perfect conditions. It's really flat. It's the flattest of all the marathons. I've always said that I didn't realize this. I can see it here. I think I've told you before that the world record, the sub 2 hour will only get done at Berlin. I didn't realize.
But this guy nearly did it at Chicago.
I know, Chicago. Yeah, a couple of Australians. I've never heard of Robert D. Costella, but I mean, he's gone sub 210. What a legend.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
At the Fukuoka Marathon. What is that?
Yeah.
Fukuoka, Japan.
Yeah. And Robert can come on the show, can't he?
Oh, anytime. Great. If he's listening.
Great.
Actually, I've got someone I do want to take on the show.
Get on. Yep. Okay.
He's alive. He's alive. And it sort of fits in with this, what we're talking about now. I did an assignment on him in year 5 or 6 that my mum helped me with.
Yep. Nice work, Mum.
Great work. Because I was into athletics and things. And have you heard of Herb Elliott?
Maybe. Through you, maybe. That would probably be the only place I'd hear it, I imagine.
He's arguably, it says in his Wikipedia, arguably the world's greatest middle distance runner of his era. I mean, I wanted to say of all time.
Right. Well, say it.
I'm going to say it. He was the world's greatest middle distance runner of all time.
Right. And is he a local?
Yes, from WA.
He's from WA.
Apparently, and this I learnt this in my assignment, but I can see it here, he never lost a mile run. He was one of the few guys. He held the mile world record for a while. He was one of the first people to go sub 4 minutes, but he's not the first.
Okay.
So he never lost a mile, 36 wins. He's like Far Lap. Or who's one of those horses they froth on?
Yeah, Far Lap, I think they froth on.
Black Caviar, 36-0.
Sounds like my greyhound's old man.
Your greyhound's old man, yeah.
Yeah, so he had, my greyhound had a bunch of starts, 36 odd starts, maybe 2 wins. But her old man got like 12 wins, like 1 placing, and they just went, nah, you're done. No more racing for you, pal.
Really? They studded him that early?
Yeah, because they're like...
Probably more money in that, right?
Guess so. But, she was rubbish by comparison. And that's awesome.
Well, I mean, this guy's done it all. He retired from athletics at the age of 22, and he was 36-0.
Yeah, it's a good record, isn't it?
I mean... He was 22.
Do you reckon people challenged him and he's done the Seinfeld, I choose not to run?
Maybe.
Because, you got all these, young bucks calling you out.
He's only got the 1 gold. He won the 1500, of course, at the 1960 Rome Olympics.
If you're undefeated, can't you just be the greatest? Can't we just go a bit further? Like the greatest sportsman to ever live? You know what I'm saying?
Well, arguably he was, because he gave up when he had so much ahead of him. It was so bright. The future was so bright. He took up a career in business, it says here, and at one time he was the chairman of FMG, Fortescue Metals Group.
Well, there you go. Any other undefeated people we can think about? Maybe Floyd Mayweather. Is he in that list?
He's in the list, but I've got a better list. You have to check this out. Apparently, Herb Elliott is an Australian living treasure. And
wow.
There's a
not
link.
Apparently.
He is officially.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't know.
Sorry. Here you go. Check this out. I've got a list of living. Okay, there's 71 still living people on the 2014 list, which originally contained 93 living people.
National living treasures.
I didn't know we had national living treasures.
Oh man, yeah, of course we do.
Kieran Perkins. Oh, wait, hold on.
Is he a living national treasure?
Wait. Clive Palmer, mining magnate, placed on list after his staff were instructed to vote for him.
Where does it say that?
Number 53.
Placed on list after his staff were instructed to vote for him.
There's an article on The Australian. Sacked workers told vote for Clive Palmer as national treasure.
I mean, it's a pretty exclusive list. I mean, you want to get on this list, right?
You got Kylie Minogue, Greg Norman.
That's what I was going to say. Kylie Minogue, the Neighbours person. She was on Neighbours, right?
She was. I forgot about that.
Herb Elliott's there.
There he is. John Farnham. Peter Garrett.
Okay, so there are some legit national treasures on this list as I read it. I
didn't realise we had so many treasures. Dick Smith.
We got so many fucking treasures.
Pat Rafter. Wow.
Yeah, Pat Rafter. So
Clive's the one that sticks out on that list, but anyway.
Only because of that note that's attached to it on the Wikipedia page.
I like how they pop that. No one else has that. Everyone else just has what they're famous for. You got Ernie Dingo, and then he has this thing, mining magnate, and then it has this little asterisk next to him.
Yeah, exactly. None of the other ones go, oh, his mates asked them to vote for him.
Tim Winton.
Yep.
And then there's the deceased. So they were on the list, but they're not living anymore. They get taken
off the list because you're no longer living. You've lost that quality of life.
They're treasures. They were treasures. They were living treasures.
And then at the bottom, you've got removed while living.
Oh, no. Who?
Rolf Harris, removed 2014, which makes a lot of sense. You can't have living treasures who were convicted of 12 counts of indecent assault.
Wait.
You can't have that.
No, you can't have that. But wait, get him back on the list, though, because he's credited with the invention of the wobble board.
That is true, but he's also a sexual deviant.
The sexual deviant thing.
Predator. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you invent the wiggle board or whatever it was.
A wobble board. They're really good for your ankles.
Doesn't matter
and
if you're
proprioception.
Western Australian. If anything, it's more of a betrayal.
Oh, and then this Marcus Enfield.
Right. Who's that?
He's a former judge of the federal court.
And former national treasure by the sounds of things.
Yeah. He was convicted of perjury and perverting the course of justice and served 2 years in prison.
Right. So he got removed from the National Living Treasures list as well.
So it seems like being convicted of an offence will remove you from the list. So they really should. There's three things. You have to be living.
Yep.
You have to be a treasure.
And
you have to have not gone to prison.
Or if you want to just get people on your staff to vote for you. So I did click on that link. It was like sacked workers of Clive Palmer told to vote for him in the National Treasure. I don't know, whatever they do. A poll of some description?
Dr. Cole's on there.
Okay. No,
living treasure,
makes sense. Yeah,
he's fantastic.
That makes sense. Yeah, he's
how do you become that big? Like, do you reckon we'll ever be living treasures?
I don't think so. No, we might be treasures.
Yeah. Well, what else have I got for you? There's a new species of spider.
Yeah, we need a couple more. We're running out.
I'm pretty excited about it, actually. This is one of... I don't get excited for spiders.
No, I don't get excited for spiders either. Who does?
This spider will excite you. It's a bad boy. It's a party boy. It's a spider in the club.
Right. What's
it
it
is
do?
actually
What?
It is actually a party animal. It is. I think it's called the electric blue tarantula.
Right.
It was recently. It's a new species.
Yeah, it's a subclassification. Right.
A subclassification. Well,
oh, you just said tarantula in it. It's just a type of taranch
species. But I think that's the genus is tarantula. I'm guessing, and then I guess it's a category of it.
Yeah, it's in the family of tarantula.
But I think you have to agree that it's a party boy.
Okay, yeah, go on. Talk to me.
So it's called the what'd they do? They found a in 2022. Some people found they call it a bamboo clum tarantula, and that was a new species, and it was living inside bamboo stalks in these in Thailand. And because of this discovery, they went on a bit more of an expedition, and they found this electric blue tarantula.
Right.
And inside the research team was this wildlife YouTuber called JoCho Sippawat.
Yeah.
Could you please YouTube JoCho Sippawat?
Yeah, you could. I could try.
Here's his name. I had a quick look at it, and it looked bloody exciting. I tell you what.
What the we're going to look at the tarantula.
I don't think he has the tarantula on there, unfortunately. But this more just, I just want to get you. I didn't look into him. I just saw all his. I saw his page. Right. I like his name.
Okay.
And he has like 10 million views per video.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty unbelievable.
And he just chills out in
JoCho.
In the forest and with all the animals and stuff and hangs out. Is that the idea?
I think so. He just lives and eats unusual things. But he's huge. So this YouTuber, JoCho, came along to find this electric blue tarantula. And apparently, just reading this article, blue is one of the rarest colours to appear in nature.
Oh.
Because to appear blue, an object needs to reflect most of the energy that's hitting it and only absorb a very small amount.
Okay, and why is this a
I
trait?
think things normally absorb the energy. I don't know, for heat. But think about it. Do you see many things that are blue? I see blue fish.
Yeah, there's blue fish. That's the obvious one. There's like blue octopus and octopus-looking things, and like blue bottles, right? They're just little squids, right?
I can only think of blue in nature under the water.
Yes.
And there's reasons, I think, for that as well, because I don't know.
Good camouflage, probably in the water.
So it says here, to appear blue, an object needs to absorb very small amounts of energy while reflecting high energy blue light. Generating molecules capable of absorbing this energy is complex, making blue in nature relatively rare. What's even more fascinating is its ability not only to display blue, but also a beautiful violet hue, creating a remarkable iridescent effect. And that is the electric blue tarantula.
So what's the going theory on how he got blue?
They don't know why. He's a bad boy. I told you, he's a party boy. He's a neon club spider. That's all we need to know. He wants to party.
You keep saying that. Why does blue mean party?
Oh, it's the neon. I think it's the neon.
So it's a very brilliant, bright blue, and it's a pretty boy. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're getting excited about blue tarantulas.
I just like the fact they find new things.
Mm.
There's just a lot of things out there.
There's a lot of things out there.
There's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of things. I met a bloke at the pool last week.
Go on.
I swim after work on a Tuesday now.
Oh, yeah. Go
Training.
for a swim. Yep.
Going for training for the Roto channel swim.
Oh, yeah. Doing that one.
Doing that one, yeah. And this guy just...
You ever done that one before?
I've done it in a team, but not solo. Solo is a
Right.
completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
I have to become a fish.
Right.
I have to think like a fish. My new identity
Yes.
is a fish.
Fishman.
Fishman.
Cool. All right.
And this guy...
So you've been doing some training, yeah?
I've been doing some training. I'm not someone that likes to talk to people in my lane, in the lane next to me. I really don't talk to people in the pool.
Fair enough.
I even have earplugs in just to keep the water out of my ears. But obviously, if someone talks to me, I'll say I'll make an effort, but I'm not going to have a full conversation. But I make an exception with this guy. So luckily I'm towards the end of my swim. And he just says something. I don't know exactly what he said. He said something to me. I took my earbud thing out. What do you call them? Earplug. And he just said to me something like, "Oh, sometimes you just got to be the dolphin." And something he was sort of, I couldn't understand everything he was saying. Sometimes you talk to people and you don't really want to be like, whoa, what was that about being the dolphin? Like, what'd you say? Like, you just kind of let it go.
Right.
And he was saying something about life being beautiful and just something about meditating and enjoying the water. And I was like, kind of piqued my interest because I was like, this guy's kind of like, might be a little bit insane. Like, and I sort of like that, I was like, he's saying lots of, like, a lot of trigger words for me, like, meditate and, being a dolphin.
Mm.
And so it piqued my interest, and I just told him that sometimes I feel like I'm a whale. And we got into this big discussion about water aerodynamics.
Yeah, right.
And how, how dolphins move so subtly. It almost doesn't even look like they're not flapping, but they're cut through the water. They're not going ham. No, they're just very gently wiggling, but they slice through the water.
Mm.
And then we agreed that we don't know what you call water aerodynamics because aero is implying that there's air.
Yep. Means you're airborne or something.
Yeah. So then he asked me if I know what the pineal gland is.
Oof.
And I was like, here we go. I knew this guy was like, worth a chat.
Yeah.
I was like, I said that I know what it is, but I don't really know how to activate it.
Yes.
And he told me how to activate your pineal gland.
No, he didn't.
He told me you have to squeeze your butthole.
No.
Yes. And it travels up your spine, and like the energy somehow activates your pineal gland.
Wow. How many butt clenches have we got listening to the pod right now? How many people are just giving their butt a good old clench?
I was giving it a little squeeze
me too.
When I was saying it. I was like,
me too.
Trying to get a feel for it.
I just wanted to, dude, if I felt something, even at the base of my spine when I gave it a go, if I felt even just the slightest thing that could have been built upon, I'd be trying that.
So I'm totally invested in this conversation now.
Yeah.
My swim's over.
Yeah. Fuck the swim.
I was right at the end of it.
How do you activate that gland?
I was talking to him about property sales, and he had some property questions because he found out I do some law, and we covered a lot of ground. It was like a mini podcast, and I was like, man, I've got to go. My wife's picking me up. I've just written off the last 15 minutes of my swim here. And and so that's my story. And I told him about the podcast actually. Yeah. So who knows? He was before the last episode came out, so he probably copped episode 69.
You think he's one of the many who jumped?
He was probably wondering why he didn't get a shout out on that episode.
Right. For the butt clench pineal gland activation technique.
Yeah, because I told him I went to Egypt.
Yep.
And all these things: Egypt, pineal gland, butt squeezing. They're all wrapped up in the one sort of linkage. Yeah, whales, dolphins, all that.
Yeah, being one with the fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was quite unusual, but I enjoyed it.
Excellent. And have you given it a proper crack?
Not a proper crack. No, I forgot about it.
I don't think it's fair for me to say I've given it a proper crack. Just trying it as we're talking. I don't think that was good enough for me to say unequivocally, "Hey, it doesn't work for me."
You have to try it before. But it's interesting. I've heard similar things from people about this, like this sort of not butt squeezing.
Right.
But about the idea they talk about Kundalini energy. I've only done some Kundalini yoga on videos online, and I've looked. I can't find a proper Kundalini teacher in my area. Right. The only one I can find is this sort of older woman, and she only really seems to teach older women in the class. I'm just not really comfortable going to an old woman's Kundalini yoga class.
Okay.
But they talk about harnessing the energy at the base of your spine, which is sort of technical word for squeezing your butthole.
Is it?
In a way.
What is it?
In a way. Harnessing the energy at the bottom of your spine.
It's just a nice way to say clench your bum.
Well, what I'm saying is there's similarities. There's similarities between the things I'm hearing from people. I'm hearing one guy saying squeeze your butthole, but I'm hearing other people saying and what you do is the energy rises up your spine. You often hear about chakras and things. You line up your chakras, your energy centers, and it sort of somehow works its way into your crown chakra or something, and you have a bit of, I don't know what happens. You have a bit of like epiphany or something. I don't know.
Really? Is that what happens?
Well, this is I'm like, I've never experienced this.
No.
But this is anecdotally the kind of things I hear from people about. You bring the Kundalini energy up from the base of your spine, up through your spine and into
Isn't that just a very standard sort of technique of meditation, like being able to feel things, and then you can get the feeling to travel from, say, your fingers to your whole arm, and then to your legs, and then to your feet. Isn't that a standard sort of relaxation technique that we're talking about there?
It might be, but I don't think it's so much about that technique where you can feel parts of your body. Is definitely something they use in meditation. But the idea of the energy going from your base of your spine up through your central channel up into your crown chakra or your third eye and things like that process, like I've talked to taxi drivers about Kundalini energy, and they talk about this sort of, they all have the same kind of things they start talking about. They talk about like this energy at the base of your spine, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What?
Yeah, where's the energy? Where does it come from? A butt clench?
Yeah,
we can say butt clench. If it's a butt clench, tell me it's a butt clench.
I squeeze my butt all the time. But there's obviously some technique and other woo-woo mumbo-jumbo that goes on, and it works. It seems to work for people. But I'm in, and I want to meet the guy again, actually.
The pool man?
Yeah, the pool man. Asking more about this. I don't know if I just go up to a guy. What if I get the wrong guy and start talking about butthole squeezing? He'll probably think I'm queer. Kundalini energy activation. I want like a summary. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Good pun. We'll pay that.
I'll do this in my spare time, maybe some homework. I'll let you know when I find the answer.
Yeah, and if it's a butt clench, just tell me.
I will. Maybe JoCho knows. JoCho Sippawat.
Yeah, he might.
What's the date today?
It's the, 6th or 7th? It's 9th. Jesus. It's the 9th of October.
We're still in World Space Week.
What now?
Yeah, ends tomorrow. 4th till the 10th of October. Don't know why they get a whole week.
Yeah, what?
Because normally it's a day, right?
Yeah, Earth Day, this day, that day.
I mean, the quiz...
space is pretty big.
space is big. Maybe they need some more time. But even QE2 only got the 4-day public holiday for her 70th, her platinum jubilee. She only got 4. I mean, space is getting a whole week now.
I don't like it, I think space is overreaching.
But there's actually a reason for the week, because it starts on the 4th of October, because that commemorates the launch of Sputnik, the first human-made object in orbit.
Yep.
And the 10th of October, let's not worry about the year, is the signing of the Outer Space Treaty. So it's commemorating the first human object, the first man-made object in orbit on the 4th of October.
And the treaty.
The treaty, which not all nations have signed, but a lot of them have signed.
And that's to do with what, the commercialization of space? Is it about the militarization of space?
I think it's more the commercialization. The theme this year is space and entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay. So we're getting money now.
Oh, man, it's venture capitalism gone rife. So World Space Week was
chucking
first.
People up there.
They've got a whole week to talk about it.
Yeah.
So World Space Week was first put in motion by the United Nations in 1999. Yet to recognise those things I was talking about. Okay, and then there's 4 steps to host your own event. Here, let me send you the link. We still got 1 day. We could still host our own event. We're going to host
an event, are we?
Could.
Okay, yep.
If we get onto it.
Welcome to World Space Week 2023. Are you excited?
I am now.
Yeah, yep, great. Create the activity. Is that what we're up to?
Yeah.
Mark your calendar. Done. We're in it.
Okay, we mark the calendar. We create the activity. Come up with whatever space-related event style you think will work best for your community.
Right, our community. Right, okay, great.
I think the space-related event will be talking about Space Week on our podcast.
Great. Okay, cool. So we've done that, have we?
We're doing it right now. So we're currently doing the activity.
So great. This is a good activity so far, let me just say. Cracking activity. And Space Week is going off, isn't it? Could be bigger than 69. The bloody.
It could be. We could hashtag
Space Week.
Space Week. Oh, okay. Wait, no. Final thing to do. So the next thing is spreading the word, which we're doing now as well. So we're actually covering a lot of bases.
2 birds, 1 stone. Yeah.
We're creating the activity and we're spreading the word.
Great. At the same time.
Then the last thing we need to do is actually register it with the.
Ooh, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the World Space Week Association.
Right. So it says let them know about the event, which we're doing right now as well. It's 3 birds, 1 stone.
3 birds,
but we're letting you know that this is the event, this is the activity, this is also the spreading of the word, and it's us letting you know.
Oh, we should really let them know that we did an event, though.
Okay. All right. We'll
the World Space Week website lists 45 different examples of events.
Why don't you put that at the top? I wouldn't have bothered trying to make up our own if you'd give us an example of other events. Bloody hell.
Yeah, so just, I mean, that's exciting, isn't it? Get excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, man. This has been a very exciting event activity. And spreading of the word. Yeah.
Spreading of the word.
Yeah. Looks like there's a couple of events in Australia.
I've got an idea. We could leverage ChatGPT.
Right.
Maybe we can ask ChatGPT how to build a spacecraft out of Kundalini energy and stuff like that. I don't know, something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
How to build spacecraft using only. Give me some ideas, some materials. Sunscreen.
Yeah, fuel rods. Let's have some nuclear fuel rods. Yeah.
Nuclear, yes. Yep. Nuclear fuel.
Give us some bronze.
And bronze.
And maybe a lighter.
And
what do they call those?
Chocolate chips.
All right, let's have it. And if not, it should just come up with something, right? I mean, I wouldn't suggest anyone try and build whatever the ChatGPT says to build.
Oh, I recommend it.
Okay, great. Go for it.
Building a spacecraft is an incredibly complex and highly specialized task that requires careful planning, engineering.
Shit.
If you're attempting to build a spacecraft, some sunscreen, nuclear fuel rods, bronze, and chocolate chips would likely result in an unsafe and non-functional contraption.
To say likely?
Likely.
Right.
Didn't completely rule it out. There's a chance. Sunscreen is not a structural material. Nuclear fuel rods require sophisticated handling and containment due to their radioactivity. Bronze is not commonly used in spacecraft construction, and chocolate chips are obviously not suitable for building a spacecraft.
It's getting pretty sassy.
That is an extremely sassy response.
Just say, look, we've worked out the kinks and we can do that.
How do you spell MacGyver?
Yeah, MacGyver.
I'm just going to say MacGyver could. MacGyver.
Yeah, MacGyver would give it a go at least.
Okay, yeah, would give it a go. Would give it a go. So please don't delay.
Yeah.
While MacGyver is known for his ingenious and resourceful approach to problem solving, it is important to remember that his feats are fictional.
Oh, fuck off.
And often involve creative exaggeration for the sake of entertainment.
Get fucked.
I can't
just say when was MacGyver ridiculous? Like what, when was MacGyver, when was it ridiculous? Because I want to know what it says.
No, I will. I will, but it still had a crack. It looks like it's had a crack, so I have to get to this.
Oh, it has had a crack.
I think it has, because it says in reality, building a spacecraft using sunscreen, nuclear fuel rods, bronze, and chocolate chips would be extremely challenging, if not impossible.
Great.
But again, it hasn't ruled it out.
More wiggle room.
That being said, if we were to entertain this hypothetical scenario in a MacGyver-esque spirit, here is a whimsical, fictional attempt at a creative solution.
Oh, this is the best Space Week activity of all week. All week.
The first heading actually makes a lot of sense to me.
Go on.
Use sunscreen as thermal protection.
Great idea, MacGyver. Yep.
Apply a thick layer of sunscreen on the spacecraft's exterior.
Which already exists, apparently. So it's just, yeah.
Well, I think it's assuming, when you use the materials in your fridge, when they people do those things where they go, I'll use these 4 ingredients to make a meal, and that people pick random things. But they're always allowed to use the base kitchen-y, the base cooking things, like you have spaghetti or something. I don't know, whatever. I don't know.
In this case, a spaceship.
Yeah. This
which is what we asked it to build, but it's like, I've started with that, and I'm popping sunscreen on it.
So
anyway, go on.
Thick layer of sunscreen to the spacecraft's exterior.
Don't fucking
it's got to be thick.
It's got to be thick
to serve as a makeshift thermal protection system, shielding it from the extreme temperatures of space.
Great idea. SP50. Yeah, that should work.
Step 2.
Yeah.
Harness energy from nuclear fuel rods.
Excellent. That's why I put them in there.
That was a very logical thing. My 2 additions were sunscreen and chocolate chips. At least yours are useful. Utilize the nuclear fuel rods to generate power for the spacecraft.
Great idea.
This would require an imaginative setup to convert nuclear energy into a usable form for propulsion or onboard systems.
Yeah, look, work that out.
Well, we've never done a nuclear spacecraft.
I know,
this is something
but
that's been promised.
ChatGPT could.
It could. If we really probed it, it would.
Yeah, it would have a crack. Yep.
Step 3, construct framework with bronze.
So we're just using it as a frame.
I mean, it makes sense. Create a basic frame or structure for the spacecraft using bronze.
Great. Thanks for incorporating the bronze. Where are the choc chips going? Probably in some milk, just for dunkage. Where are the chocolate chips going?
You just nibble on the chocolate chips whilst you're building it. While unconventional for spacecraft construction, bronze is a metal alloy that might provide some structural integrity. So it's not a ridiculous... Step 4, chocolate chips for emergency rations. Pack chocolate chips as a source of emergency rations for the fictional crew. In reality, food from space missions undergoes rigorous testing and must meet specific nutritional requirements.
Dude, if they had nothing or chocolate chips, I'm eating the chocolate chips. All right. So I'm glad I had a crack. It really did have a try there.
It did. It really did. What did you want to know?
Just lay off the
though?
sass next time, ChatGPT. Just lay off the sass. You don't need to tell me that it's unconventional. You don't need to tell me that. It is unconventional.
Okay. What? Well, you wanted to know what some of the funnier contraptions.
Like, she said MacGyver's a load of shit. You know, when was MacGyver farcical? Like when was it like a joke where you're just like, that would never happen? I mean, I remember the time that he plugged up a nuclear reactor with some chewing gum. I remember that. That seems pretty reasonable, doesn't it?
Maybe
it was either chewing gum or chocolate. He was using like chocolate or chewing gum, and he like chewed it up and then like spat it out into his hand and slapped it on the nuclear reactor.
Yeah,
and
this will
from
hold.
Exploding.
Okay, so I typed in what were some of MacGyver's best moments.
Okay,
and here are some iconic and memorable moments from the show.
Right. Is it going to be MacGyver activities, or is it just going to be him doing regular stuff?
Well, number one, building a jet engine.
Oh, great.
MacGyver builds a makeshift jet engine using a bamboo tube, fertilizer, and a truck engine.
And that's, okay. It didn't say that's bullshit. That just said that's one of his best moments. Great.
It did. It said this episode is often cited as one of the most famous examples of MacGyver's ingenuity. So very careful use of the word ingenuity. She could have been way sassier. I don't know why ChatGPT is a woman all of a sudden.
Right.
Okay, the next one, diffusing a bomb with a paperclip.
Yep.
MacGyver diffuses a bomb using only a paperclip.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. But, escaping from a
locked room. It sounds like the kind of tool you'd want. If you said we got paper clips or bananas, which one do you want? Paperclip.
Paperclips can do a lot of things. I'm always at my phone with a paperclip, trying to
Yeah, I've seen movies. They pick locks with them and stuff. Like, come on. Like, there's no better tool for disarming a bomb than paperclip. Anyway, yeah. Number 3. You got number 3?
Escaping from a locked room. It's not as exciting.
That's not exciting.
It says he frequently found himself in situations where he needed to escape from a locked room.
Oh, no. Been locked in again.
But they don't. It just says these moments involved common items in unexpected ways. That was his thing. It's a bit like Jerry Seinfeld notices common things around him and turns it into like a funny joke or a funny observation.
He's an observational
genius.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not a comic. He's not funny, even though I think the show was meant to be a bit funny. And I loved personally when MacGyver came back as Colonel Jack O'Neill, taking Kurt Russell's position as Stargate Command SG-1.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Colonel Jack O'Neill. Great role. Pretty much just MacGyver grown up. And speaking of MacGyver grown up, have you ever watched a movie called The Rock with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery?
Yes, I have.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
So what's the idea of it?
Is it escaping from a prison?
It's sort of breaking into a prison.
I've definitely seen it, and I have fond memories of the idea of the movie, but I cannot add anything to it.
I'll give you a quick plot summary,
please,
because it's not really, it's not even the point I want to make, but the quick plot summary is someone's taken, like a disgruntled general has taken control of Alcatraz Island.
I thought it was Alcatraz.
And they're going to launch
say it and embarrass myself,
or a nuke or something from there or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the general's very upset, and it's played by Ed Harris, the guy from Truman Show. The guy who runs the Truman Show. Hey, say something. You're on television. That guy, Ed Harris, very famous actor, and he's in The Rock. And so Nicolas Cage is a nuclear weapons expert.
Oh, I see him. Yes, of course. Yeah.
So Nicolas Cage, nuclear weapons expert, he has to go in to Alcatraz because they're like, no, we need you in there. Even though this is a completely military operation, we need you in there, right?
Okay.
And Sean Connery was in prison in Alcatraz, and he's the guy who kept escaping from it. So he's the guy that they need to get in because he knows all the secret tunnels.
Of course.
So he broke out of there a bunch, I think is the story. And in the very early in the film, like they have him in this room tied to a chair and he beats everyone up and nearly throws everybody out the window. Like he's a real powerful sort of secret agent kind of guy. And there was this sort of fan theory that was going around that it was just James Bond, as in Sean Connery's James Bond, got imprisoned, didn't have any ability to deny the crimes, right? Yeah. And ended up getting locked up in an American prison for 20 years or whatever.
Right.
And that's why he's so Bondy in the movie. So it makes watching that movie again look and feel a bit different if you imagine it's just Bond all grown up and grisly.
Yeah.
He's lost all his connections with British intelligence and he's just out on his own. And not only that, but he's been imprisoned in Alcatraz.
Do you reckon The Rock holds up today? When was the last time you've seen it?
Yeah, no, I saw it in the last couple of years. And look, I'm a Nicolas Cage guy. I like Face Off. I like, Gone in 60 Seconds even. I prefer Gone in 60 Seconds to Fast and the Furious, if you know if that makes sense. If there's any comparison to be made there. And, even National Treasure. We talked about National Treasures earlier, but this is more the sort of Indiana Jones style Freemason adventure National Treasure that I'm talking about, made by Disney. Love that. And they made a sequel. Love that too. Whatever. I'm a Nicolas Cage guy.
Yeah, I'm...
Con Air. I could go on.
Con Air, yes, that's fantastic. I've actually started rewatching movies. I told you earlier I couldn't rewatch movies, but I realized I couldn't get into the habit of rewatching movies because there were so many other things to watch. And I don't sit down and just watch a whole movie.
Right.
I know you don't like this. I know you don't like this.
I live like that as well. I just don't do it on,
The only way I could actually start rewatching movies, I put them on my phone now. And I watch them when I can, like when I'm eating. Like if I have breakfast at work, it's only like a 10, 15-minute period, but I just smash it out. And those little times add up. Like I read on the bus, but then if I finish my chapter and I've got 5 minutes, instead of death scrolling on my phone, I'll watch 5 minutes of wherever I'm at in the movie. And I find I can just start like knocking off movies.
Wow. And what have you watched?
Well, just to close out very quickly, there's one I want to this is, MacGyver.
We're going back to MacGyver.
Chocolate. Uses chocolate, a chocolate bar to create a makeshift welder by melting the chocolate and using it to attach two pieces of metal.
Oh, so not nuclear reactor? Bummer.
No. And then the last thing is disarming missiles with a slinky. He uses a slinky to disarm two missiles by manipulating their guidance systems.
Bloody hell.
I'm actually glad you asked me what I've been watching because I wanted to bring up Andor with you.
Yeah, so did you finish Andor?
Andor, yes. I finished it and I loved it. I'm a huge fan. I loved it.
Yeah. What did you like about it?
There was so much character development. It was a lot slower and less childish than a lot of the other Star Wars products out there.
Laser sword products, you mean? You're talking about that thing that they managed to pull off, which is let's do a Star Wars story without Jedis.
Yeah.
Get them out of there. You've seen enough of them. Let's hear about the rebels. Let's hear about the early days of the rebellion and stuff. No Jedis around. They're all gone or whatever. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, great.
Because it reversed everything. It was the opposite of Rogue One, and it's quite ironic that it leads into Rogue One.
Right. Well, it doesn't yet, right? The end of season one is not lead into... It's intended I believe they're going for another season of that.
They are. And I have to wait till August next year until it gets released.
Wow.
Because this second season has started filming late last year.
Yep.
But it's been affected by the labour disputes. Yes, in Hollywood.
Yep.
So I'm devastated because I thought that by waiting, I didn't know when it came out, but I know it has been out for a while.
Yes.
I thought that maybe season 2, when you get to
just
the end
around
of
the corner.
I thought maybe I'd only have to wait a couple of months.
No, it's not like that at all, is it?
No. And it's so apparently it is hailed as the most. This is just one person, but this is my.
Well, you can
I think
hail it if you like.
I can hail it. I can hail it. Because I read later, I wanted to see what the vibe
reception was.
Well, yes, and it is hailed as a quote as the most complex, mature story in Star Wars lore. And I agree. I haven't seen all of it, but I thought all of Star Wars stuff. And I actually, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be super like. I'm not super excited when a Star Wars movie comes out now. After some of the. I'm not saying I wouldn't say I'm a part-time fan. I'm not a hardcore die-hard Star Wars fan. I like it, but I'm not going to like everything they do.
Yep. Well, you don't have to. And I don't like everything they do, and I'm a big Star Wars fan. I don't think there's many big Star Wars fans that don't hate something in Star Wars. I think that's pretty normal. Because if you love something and they fuck it up, you're not happy.
Yes, look, I think they
were you a fan?
it.
Have you seen Rogue One?
Yeah, I actually rewatched it after.
Yeah, so now
Andor.
You wanted to. Yeah. So, and what did you think of Rogue One after watching Andor?
I still found it lacking, but it dealt with, because of all the character development I got from Andor, it did help me a lot. It sold. I cared a little bit more.
It was funny, isn't it?
Andor. Yeah.
Literally at the start of Rogue One. So if you went to the movie cinemas, I don't know when it was, 8 years ago or whenever Rogue One came out, and the first time you see Andor, he walks onto the screen, goes, "Hey man, did you do that thing for me?" And he goes, "Yeah, I did. Here it is. Thanks very much." Blam, blam, and just kills the guy in cold blood. And everyone's going, who the fuck is this guy? Who's this jerk? Right?
Yeah.
And I hated him like the whole time. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how are you meant to build a likable character when their first act is shoot a guy? I know they did it with Han Solo. He's chilling with what's his dick? Greedo, and Greedo's come for his bounty.
Oh yeah.
And bounty goes, "Oh, sorry, Jabba's only going to accept like blood now. He doesn't want your money. He wants blood." And then he shoots him. Different scenario. Dude had a gun pointed at him. Anyway, I'm not trying to
similar, interesting analogy.
Well, no, I think they were trying to draw on that scoundrel Han Solo-esque quality of this guy shoots first, asks questions later.
Bit of a bad boy.
Yeah, but probably got a good heart. We'll learn more. And then Andor, I think, went away to just Andor, the series went some ways to rebuild his character to a point where people are like, "Oh, no, I kind of get his shtick."
And he's also very quiet. I actually really like his acting. He's quiet, and he's someone that listens, and he's emotional, but he's thoughtful as well. He thinks about things a lot. That helped me with Rogue One a lot, because I came in with all this understanding and backstory to him. But I still feel like in Rogue One, I feel like it's just made for babies. Like, everyone dies, and I don't feel anything for the characters. Even Andor in that, even with the backstory, I didn't really care that much. It's just really lame.
No, but that's an amazing thing for a Disney film to do. Hey, can we kill everyone at the end of the movie? Yeah, go for it. Great. Thanks. Thanks very much. I remember the people who made that were sweating, saying, "Hey, Disney, is it cool if we kill everyone? Because we don't know how to explain all this. We don't know how to explain why these people aren't big in the rebellion." Right, so just kill them all.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Yeah, kill them all. Great, we'll kill them all.
Just make them stand alone."
Heard a great quote from a film set. I've probably brought this up before, but on the set of Armageddon, I think Ben Affleck went up to James Cameron. Is that who made Armageddon? Who made Armageddon? Let me make sure I get this right.
Yeah.
He went up to the set. He went up to the director.
Who went up to the director?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, yes.
The movie. Directed by Michael Bay. Sorry, Michael Bay.
Okay, I should know that.
And what he said is, he went up to him and goes, "I think it'd be way easier to train astronauts how to drill than drillers how to astronaut." And Michael Bay said, "Shut the fuck up."
That's a good plot hole.
Ben Affleck's just like, "Look,
poked a hole in it.
Why are we sending drillers to become astronauts? Like, surely we should be training the astronauts." Hey man, just shut the fuck up. So yeah, and to make a comparison from Andor to another Star Wars property, which has actually got a good reception, let's say, is The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Both silent hero types.
Yes.
Completely different. One's armed to the teeth. One guy's armed to the teeth, built to become a bounty hunter his whole life. He's a straight, like, scary warrior boy.
Whereas Andor is almost tribal in that he was pulled from a sort of hunter-gatherer type culture and fortuitously ended up just being looked after or rescued by someone that had rebellious tendencies.
Yeah. And just to get a bit of clarification from what I said about Ben Affleck from Before, it says on the commentary track of Armageddon, Ben Affleck says he asked Michael Bay why it was easier to train oil drillers to become astronauts than it was to train astronauts to become oil drillers. And he told me to shut the fuck up. So that was the end of the talk. And Ben Affleck would have been like a young actor at the time. I mean, he had a bit of chops because he was in a few other things, and he was on that sort of writer path as well. Like, he was doing both. But yes, very good.
What I liked about Andor is the political side of it. What's the name of the senator that they follow around in that?
Okay, so that would be what's her name? I should know this. I hear it all the time because she's in all the shit.
I like her character and the storyline
She's funding
that goes
the
with
rebellion
her.
sort of thing, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, she's using family fortune to fund the rebellion, but she's a senator and she's worried that they're starting to look over the accounts. And at some point, the Empire she's not going to be able to explain certain payments.
Yeah, and that's Mon Mothma is her name.
Mon Mothma. Okay.
Yeah.
I love her, and I'm just on the edge of my seat. Like that whole, it's intriguing. And this is what's so much better about, rather than just, whoever that Imperial dude was that's just pointing a gun at Jin. Like that's direct danger. But I don't feel, I'm like, I just know it's just another one of those situations. And then someone just shoots the guy, Andor comes back and just shoots him from out of shot. And you're like, fucking typical. Like, of course, like it just doesn't, I'm like, I just find it so lame in that it's like a trope that's been done a million times. Whereas with Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it's going. And the threat is always hanging over her, but I don't know when it's going to come, how's it going to affect her family. I thought her daughter might be Princess Leia. I was trying to see, because her daughter doesn't like her at the moment, but I feel like that's something they're going to turn around in the second season. I feel like it's one of those unresolved tensions that they're going to.
Sure. Well, her mum's a pretty busy lady because she's trying to keep up with her regular life and also secretly fund the rebellion. Yeah. So she's got
her husband knows nothing of it, apparently.
Barely anything. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, type Mon Mothma into Google. Mon Mothas.
Yep.
What have you got?
I got some. I've also.
So go to images.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that she's she's
little old lady.
Yeah, the old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so this chick, the new Mon Mothma, she played her in Rogue One and in everything else afterwards. So she's been the new Mon Mothma for quite some time. Like, how they have the new Spider-Man and they have the new James Bond.
Yeah.
She's the new Mon Mothas.
Do you know I didn't even recognize her in Rogue One?
Yeah, no, that's her. I'm pretty sure that's her. Yeah,
no, it has to be. Well, I mean, they're making it look like it.
But it just shows you that she stuck around in the rebellion. She's in the rebellion.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad that she's living in Rogue One because I'm stressed out for her at the moment.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting that you bring it up that there's this political intrigue, but because of Rogue One, we know that she's okay after the events of Andor. That is really weird.
Wonder what happens to her husband.
Yeah, probably something awful. Didn't see him in Return of the Jedi. I nearly said Revenge of the Jedi, which is what they were going to call it before they changed it to Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you type in Revenge of the Jedi, you actually get some movie posters because they had movie posters made, and then
Oh,
they
they're
got
that
bad.
close.
Yeah, that close. But yeah, Star Wars. Can't believe it.
Oh, that other series, because now I was actually on the hunt to find some Star Wars.
Yeah, what have you watched so far, Star Wars wise? Mandalorian, obviously.
I did like Mandalorian, but
watched
I
Andor.
much prefer Andor. And then there's that newer one, Ahsoka.
There's Ahsoka, there's Obi-Wan, there's...
I only watched the first... Oh, what's the Obi-Wan one like? I think you said it wasn't that good.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. But I think it's worth it for about 2 minutes.
Later on in the series?
Yeah,
so you have to put up with hours to get to that 2 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, you do. That's how I feel about that show.
I watched the first 15 minutes of Ahsoka and the lightsabers were back out.
Yeah, they are. They're back out. Got lightsabers back.
Back out in a big way, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is not Andor. This is almost Ahsoka's like in no point in George Lucas's original trilogy or sequel trilogy or the previous one did they really go into anything that was in what I would call mystical or magical. There's none of that. It's like, here's the Force, Luke, and it's like move shit with your hand, shut a door, open a door, tell a stormtrooper he didn't see anything, and he goes, oh, I didn't see anything. That's what the Force is in the original run.
It's a subtle fish.
It's there's nothing magical going on really. It's just always moving stuff because they're like, we can make that happen on film. So like, fuck yeah, let's do some magic. I think that's what the idea was. But in this one, because it's sort of drawing upon all the lore that's been written in Rebels and the Clone Wars, which are all things that were made under the tutelage, like with the help of George Lucas in the beginning, but now are completely done by a few guys who are really keeping Star Wars alive, just these few dudes. They've gone into all sorts of wacky territory with like space whales and all sorts of gnarly shit. Yeah, space whales. So in one of those series, the early ones, like I think it was probably Rebels, they go into this thing that like they talk about how they discovered space travel, like interstellar space travel.
Yeah.
Because of these whales that can travel hyperspace. They can go through hyperspace. They create their own hyperspace lanes, and that's what they base all their lanes on. So they studied the whales, figured out how they were doing it, and then made ships. I don't know how it happened, but that's how it happened. I don't know how, but that's the story, right?
Yeah,
so
a purrgil.
A purrgil, yeah, purrgils or some shit.
Purrgil, yeah, were a species of whales that lived in space. This is on Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia. Yeah, Wookie. Yeah.
While regular purrgil were only the size of a small starship, another type of purrgil known as the purrgil ultra were significantly larger.
Big space whales, right.
4 large hind tentacles and multiple fins. Their heads had a characteristic bulbous shape with one eye on each side.
What I'm trying to say is we're far away from Andor now, aren't we? With space whales and fucking like Force whales and shit. Like,
yeah, we're kind of into Dune territory now.
Yeah, it's a lot more fantastical than I think what they were trying to do is ground Andor in reality, like Rogue One was. Rogue One was the first Star Wars movie without a Jedi in it. First product that they ever made didn't have a Jedi kicking around.
Yep.
This is
Vader,
the other direction.
Vader is in it, but he plays a very,
Vader
very
is
minor
in Rogue
role.
One, isn't he? He pops up and slices up the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Right at the end, but that's to link it to
episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4.
Yes. But so now we're in space whales territory, very, very, very strange fantasy stuff. And I'm fine with that. As a Star Wars fan, I'm totally fine with them going down that path. Do whatever the fuck you want. It's totally fine.
It's interesting. Where to from here? I feel like they're going down all these side side.
No, they're just
channels.
doing their own MCU. That's what they're doing.
That's what I feel like they're doing. Yeah.
Yes. And Andor's not invited.
Why is he not invited?
He's not coming to the party.
But he's in the party. He's partying.
No, he's not. No, he's not partying.
What party is he not coming to?
Different time party. Different time party.
This is
all the Mando, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, that's all set after Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
And/or set before New Hope. So
okay, but they're still going to be doing things
for their big thing that they're going to do.
Oh, the big one, yeah.
So the big one,
will that be a
mixture?
Will that be like episode 10? Like, is that what you mean?
That will not be a name. That will not be a main Star Wars saga arc. I don't think
will just there be an episode 10.
You'd have to say yes, right?
You would, but there's no discussion.
Yeah. I think there has been discussion. I think
what Google has to say that.
I think originally the dude who did Last Jedi was given, a pass to do 3 movies, which Rian Johnson, but I don't like that. So I hope they don't do that.
Do you want to watch a trailer?
For what?
It says episode 10. I don't know if it's a fan concept trailer.
No, I hate that.
I didn't know that there are fan concept trailers.
What are you talking about?
So it's fan fiction.
Yeah. No, it's like a do this movie, please. I can't. But no, what's fun is looking at the modern trailers. So you type in an old movie and you're like making a modern trailer.
Yeah.
And they're way better. Like the Star Wars Episode 1's modern trailer is better than the movie.
And it's done by Star Wars. Proper. It's legit.
No.
So
it's like someone who's cut up the movie to make a
okay.
modern day looking trailer for Star Wars Episode 1. And I'm like, man, this movie looks fucking awesome.
Oh, I'll check some out after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That sounds great.
Because you would have watched the original and it would have been like, I think it's pretty much every story has a beginning and it's just Anakin, he's a little kid. Whereas this one was just like all in on the fucking cool shit in the movie. Anyway,
good,
it's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I like doing as well, so there's rewatching movies, which I'm starting to do occasionally. Wow. And I want to watch Pulp Fiction, actually. That's high on my rewatch list because I haven't seen it in 20 years.
Yeah, fair enough.
And there's a bunch of other things on there. But there's also some movies that are on my to-watch list, but they're not high, and I know I'll never get to them. Now, I just watch the honest trailers.
Been relegated to that?
I like watching the honest trailers because I feel like if I don't think the movie is going to be particularly good as well, if I'm not worried about ruining it, the honest trailers focus on all the things that stand out that would have annoyed me, and I get a feel for what the movie would be like, even though it's a piss take on the movie.
It's true. Most of the times, those honest trailers do a good job of getting into not their head, but your head. It almost knows what you like and dislike about the movie.
Yes. Like it put like when I've realized that when I watch honest trailers after watching the movie that they actually they speak a lot of truth. But they dial it up to 11.
Yeah, I watched, like, if I want a video game ruined for me, I might watch the honest trailer of the game.
They do honest trailers of games.
Yeah, there's honest game trailers as well. And the Starfield one was hilarious because it just kept hitting, like, note after note of just going, like, so get ready for running around with, your backpack full of stuff, even though, you don't really need to sell any of this and you've got shitloads of money already. Like, what's your point? What are you doing? Kind of thing. It'll be all that. And you'll be like, fuck, I do all that. And, it's good. It's good fun.
Yeah, nice.
But it's the same as like watching someone do like a review on a game. If you're enjoying a game, just keep playing it. That's my advice. If you're enjoying it, don't look for reasons to hate it because you'll find them.
You'll find those yourself.
Yeah. Well, no, but you might not care about them until someone points it out to you that's what you're doing. Okay. And you go, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the illusion is broken.
I don't know anything about it. Just broadly, what is going on with these Hamas attacks in Israel?
Yeah,
this seems like it's pretty big news, right?
Yeah, it seems like it's a big escalation.
Escalation,
obviously. It's awful.
Yeah, terrible. And Israel, of course, hitting back, which is like the big brother, smacking on your younger brother. Like they don't, they're going to inflict huge losses. You probably won't hear about those as much. But so they attacked a music concert.
That was pretty bad. Israeli so they had paratroopers come over the border and encircle the joint and shoot. There was hundreds of people that died.
And they've taken hostages, captives.
As well. Yep.
This is it's great. I heard hundreds of deaths and hundreds taken captive.
Yeah, I think over 1,000 people have died total on both sides now.
Oh
so,
my! And when you say paragliders, I saw a cartoon impression, just a political cartoon, where they had dudes with fans.
That's right. That's right.
So and they had a couple of dudes, one just raining down. That seems like quite a strange.
They landed, I'm pretty sure, but it is strange. But that just means that they're, and this is something that the commentators have pointed out, is that they're. I think that there was a lax because they were getting pretty predictable, and this is like a really well planned sort of attack that they've done, and. Yeah, it's awful. A lot of innocent people dead.
Oh my god! And they've poked the beehive like that. I mean, that conflict's obviously been
really,
going on.
It? Not really.
No, but it's when you shake that you really
it's
aggravate.
Tit for tat the whole time. The whole thing is tit for tat. Like,
but this seems to be. It does seem
this is
to be
not
an
the
escalation.
first move. This is like the 25th move.
Yeah. But it is a move, and I haven't heard of a move in a while. Like this is a big move. So you say there's 25 moves, but it's like
I don't know. It's just been going on for decades.
Well, Israel are calling it their 9/11.
Yeah,
which is
but sure, but
which is bigger than just a move.
It's such a terrible situation over there, for both peoples, and like most Palestinians don't support Hamas. It's not like it's illegal to speak out against them. They've been in power since 2006 in Gaza.
Yeah,
so like. There's a whole bunch of people who are innocent who are just getting bombed right now.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
They've got scumbags in charge, and there's scumbags everywhere on both sides.
So
it's a fucking horrible situation, and I'm not. Yeah,
I'm so glad I live here. Hey, I'm just so glad.
Yeah. There's a bit of that as well.
We just get to talk shit, and
Yeah, we're allowed to say horrible things about our leaders if we want.
I say horrible things all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. On that note, I'm trying to think of a horrible thing to say about a politician, but it'd just be too forced.
Yeah, no, let's leave that for next week. Next week, we'll start off with horrible things about politicians. I think that's how we'll start it. See you next week.